Book is dope as hell. I just got done reading the first issue of Predator vs. Wolverine, written by Benjamin Piercy and art done by a whole plethora of people. This is the beginning of a 4-issue crossover that most of us have only dreamed about. And so far, it's pretty fucking good. The comic opens with Wolverine being chased through the woods. Pieces of him have been blown off, as he is being hunted by an invisible threat. His only chance at survival is hiding. Then flash back to when this hunt started, the 1900s. As a much younger, pre-adamantium Logan has his first run-in with the Yautja, who nearly rips him in half. But luckily, Logan is able to out-strategize the creature and survive. Assuming he killed it, he left, but he was very mistaken. The comic ends in the Weapon X days, where Logan and his fellow team of experiments are traveling through the jungle, only to encounter, spoiler alert if you don't want to be spoiled because this comic just came out yesterday, an entire clan of Yautja. Cannot wait for issue 2, but what do you guys think? So I just got done reading the second issue of Predator vs. Wolverine. And this comic continues to be epic and badass. This issue follows the second encounter between Logan and the Predator. And this time, neither one is alone. Logan is currently at that stage in his life where he is working with Team X, a small militia group made up of Weapon X experiments. And the Predator, who I'm going to name Bub for obvious reasons, is joined by a pack of Yautja. Both team numbers get whittled down pretty fast, as Logan quickly realizes that if he's going to defeat these things, he cannot rely on the usual hack and slash. He'll need to be quick and smart, as his instincts continue to scream at him that he's done this before. This issue has a lot more quicker pace than the previous one, mostly because it focuses a lot more on action, which I don't entirely mind. I just wish we got a little bit more of Sabretooth. But how this issue ends has me so hyped for the third one. Years after this encounter, we see Bub slaughter his way through a Weapon X facility, before coming across an unconscious Logan tied to machinery. If I were a betting man, I'd say this issue 1 cover was hinting at what's about to happen in issue 3. So yeah, I highly recommend this comic. It is an absolute blast. And if you've already read it, tell me what you think. So it took a minute, but I finally got my hands on Predator vs. Wolverine issue 3. And to be honest, this is my favorite issue so far. Though it may have the least amount of action compared to the last 2 issues, it makes up for it for just the dopest fucking moments. The opening of this comic is so good. Logan is trapped underwater with a boulder on top of him, and Bub the Predator is actively approaching him. While he escapes, his internal monologue about what it truly means to be a hunter is just so badass. It's not about the tech and it's not about the gear, it's about the grit. It's the willingness to get up close and personal, to put yourself in danger. People who use technology are simply detaching themselves from the true threat. Anything Bub can do with his ship full of weapons, Logan can accomplish just as easily with his claws. And then the story cuts to where issue 2 left off. And even though I was expecting a full-on fight between Weapon X and Bub, Bub just melts the flesh off of Logan's bones. Some may find disappointing, but I find metal as hell. Now, my only real problem with this issue is when Logan comes to. Logan doesn't really encounter Bub. He just claws his way out of the ship and then falls from orbit, which is admittedly badass as fuck. But I would have enjoyed a bit of like a back and forth encounter between the two. Logan describes this era of his life to be his most violent and feral. And I would have really liked to see that go up against Bub the Predator. How this issue ends has me very interested in the next one, because now we've entered Logan's life in Japan, and I love Japanese imagery. And I've been really wanting to see a Predator story that takes place in Japan. Also, we get to see what appears to be the start of the modern day fight, where Logan finds Bub's mask at an old Weapon X facility, and tries to use it to lure out Bub for one final showdown. So yeah, really enjoyed this issue, and I cannot wait to see where this crossover goes next. But what do you guys think? It took a while, but I finally got my hands on issue 4 of Predator vs. Wolverine. This is the final issue of this crossover miniseries, and I gotta say, it's a pretty satisfying conclusion. This issue is filled with a lot of cool content, like the Predator attacking Westchester and going head-to-head with the X-Men. And Logan's final battle with the Predator is super cool. The only real problem I have with this issue is its segment in Japan. The ending of the previous issue had me super hyped to see what they would do, but this battle is really short and kind of anticlimactic. Bub shows up, they fight for a little bit, and then he bounces. Really wish more of that time was given to his battle with the X-Men, because that stuff was super cool. But I gotta say, I love the ending, and I really like how Wolverine is able to get the upper hand on the Predator. I really like seeing Logan reflect on his feud with the Predator, and how with it gone now, he's never going to have to look over his shoulder for it again. The hunt is over, and he might just miss the thrill of it. So yeah, this issue was really good, and I highly recommend it, along with the rest of the miniseries. But what do you guys think? Hello there. Horizontal Dark Detective here. After I finished editing this, I thought I'd went back and reread the miniseries to see how my thoughts have evolved on it in the last few months. And I definitely still like the miniseries a lot. I will say though, if I were to rank these, issue 3 would be at the bottom. This issue mostly feels like filler because nothing really happens in it. This is Weapon X era Logan, so you'd expect some big, bloody battle with him, but nothing happens. Bub unhonorably murders Logan in his sleep, takes him aboard his ship, and then Logan stumbles his way out. I find the concept that Logan's Weapon X gear is based off of Yautja Tech very interesting, but they don't do anything with that either. Also, a major problem with the miniseries as a whole is that outside of issue 1, Logan never really feels like he's in danger. Logan, for the most part, is indestructible. That's why usually in Wolverine stories, the threat of losing a fight isn't really death. Usually he's trying to protect somebody, or he's trying to prove himself to somebody. Either way, there's usually an outside force that provides tension to these fights. Outside of killing Logan because fuck that guy, Bub doesn't really have any real motivations. He's not trying to get his hands on adamantium. He's not trying to study Logan's blood to gain his healing factor. That's why the fight at the X Mansion is my favorite in the series, is because there's actual tension there, because the Predator, Bob I mean, is willing to tear through anybody to get to Logan. Enough negativity aside, I really love the art in this book, especially the art by Gavin Guidry, who does the Westchester era of this battle. And I really enjoyed reading Logan's internal monologue about what it means to be a hunter and how the years of fighting have impacted him. And I absolutely love the concept of Logan having a centuries-long battle with the Predator. So as Marvel's first crossover with the AVP franchise, I think they definitely stuck the landing here, and I am extremely excited to read Jonathan Hickman's Avengers vs. Aliens in July. But those are just my thoughts on it. What did you guys think? Tell me in the comments below.